You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show. The preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Strap yourself in, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Chris Voss Show. I think I broke my voice doing that. Welcome to the show, my family and friends. As always, for 16 years and over 2,000 episodes. I'm tired already. We have been bringing you the Chris Voss Show unapologetically for free, whether you like it or not, damn it. We're just bringing you the show, and you're just going to have to deal with it. Anyway, guys, welcome to the show. As always, we love you as an audience. You guys are so amazing, except for that one guy in the back, but we won't talk about that. Anyway, guys, go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, linkedin.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss 1 on the TikTokity, and ChrisVossFacebook.com. Anyway, we have an amazing young lady on the show. We're going to be talking to her about her amazing insights and stuff that she does with her amazing line of makeup and different things. You're going to learn some interesting things, too, as well. The chemical makeups of makeup and some of the things to watch out for, things that some of them do. And then maybe she'll put some on me, make me look better on the show. We'll see how that goes. I don't know how that's going to work out virtually, because she's on the other side. So we have joAnn Fowler on the show. She's an Emmy-nominated makeup artist with a college diploma in childcare. Rather than pursuing a degree, she attended university to take courses that genuinely interest her, mainly in the arts. Her educational journey also included a transformative 4-month stay in Kenya, where she studied anthropology, ecology, and sociology. As a mere dyslexic, she excelled in school through determination and her own creative workarounds. A lot of successful people and smart people are dyslexic. Just because you can't read kind of half right doesn't mean doesn't mean you're dumb. I might be dumb, but no one else is. Anyway, her progress was greatly influenced by her third grade teacher, Miss Stanton, whose kindness and patience helped me learn to read and write. God bless teachers. There you go. Welcome to the show, joAnn. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I am excellent. I'm coming off the COVID here, day 9. I still have most of my body parts left, and I'm just excited to be here and have you with us. Give us your .com so people can find you on the interwebs. And the name of your brand, too. I kind of skipped that.
The name of the brand is Sappho New Paradigm, and the .com is mysappho.com. So SAPPHO, like the, she's a 2,000-year-old poet.
Sappho is?
Yes.
Oh, there you go. Now, is this based on lore or from Kenya or?
No. Actually, she's was a 2,000 years ago. She was a poet on the island of Lesbos. She was one of the reasons that we call our company after her is because she was a woman that lived her own life on her own terms. And she was the first poet to write in first person. So she was not writing about battles and all that kind of stuff. She was talking about her emotions and who she was. Plato referred to her, I believe, as the most important poet of his time. So so that's Sappho. And, I like to say, she's been around for 2,000 years.
There you go. You can put that in the byline. Oh, it started in 2,000 years ago. What would that be? 024? joAnn, give us a 30,000 overview of your company and what you guys do there.
Basically, we are a small Canadian clean beauty company. We're a heritage company. We're one of the very first to ever start the movement. And we're actually breaking up with clean beauty right now because we are moving into PFAS tested beauty. Okay. So we're looking at scientifically verified ingredients now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what is, define for me the clean movement, and then how is that different than the PFAS, all that stuff?
Well, I think that the clean beauty movement started around in the early 2000s. We launched in 2008, and it was really to tackle things like chemicals that we were finding like parabens, and which they found to mimic estrogen, and then phthalates, which were endocrine disruptors that they were using in fragrance and hiding in fragrance, and all sorts of different petrochemicals, different things that were getting into the bloodstream through cosmetics. So the clean movement was looking at sort of mainstream cosmetics and saying, you know what, we're getting information here that is not good. We're going to try and change the paradigm and move over to something that's sustainable, good for our planet, good for our skin, good for our bodies. And learning about PFAS 4 years ago, forever chemicals, has sort of changed the whole thing, because now we have found out that through all our great efforts, we miss the one thing that is actually probably worse than all the chemicals.
Oh, wow.
Together. Yeah.
There you go. And we've we had some people on that were on the show a few years back that talked about estrogenics, parabens, and different things. I switched out all my soaps and detergents and my shaving cream. I did the full switch, and I try and stay away from bad stuff. And it was kind of interesting how evasive it was. It was like everywhere, on everything.
Everywhere, yeah. It's and PFAS are even more ubiquitous. They were chemicals that were created in the 1940s to win the World War.
Yeah, along with asbestos, maybe. What could go wrong?
Oh well, it was. Yeah, I mean, they basically were made to help the tanks get out of the mud.
Yeah, I mean, they put plutonium on watches, and girls would lick the brush.
Yeah.
So that it would paint better. That was bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
We did a lot of stupid things in the 40s.
Yeah, we sure do. We're pretty stupid, I have to say. We're not getting much smarter. Yeah. I mean, so these things, they were, created, and the guys went, hey, they work really well. Let's waterproof everything. So, we ended up with them in our carpets, in our cups, in our personal care items, in our everything. And so now we have them, half the Americans have them in their blood, half our waters have them in our water, and they are endocrine disruptors on crack.
Wow. And they're messing up our system. People hear about stuff like this, they wonder why, there's so much cancer, disease, it just seems to be escalating crazy. And a lot of this stuff probably is at the root cause of a lot of it, right?
I really actually believe so. And I think the more we're learning about this and the more we're delving into it, we're finding out that there are about 250 of these PFAS that have been studied. Wow. And most of them are turning out to be pretty dangerous. There are 15,000 of them.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Yes.
We need to calm down with all of these PFAS.
Yeah.
I think.
And, watch the movie Dark Water. I really suggest people watch that. They'll get a really good idea of where I'm sort of coming from. Cosmetics is the third fastest way of getting PFAS into your system, particularly through your lips and your eyes.
Usually I just scrape the Teflon on and chew off the pan and chew on it. That's another great way to get those in your system too. Or you just go down to the old Foster Graham plants and just roll around in the dirt, and you can pick up some of that stuff there.
Yeah, the Teflons, it's pretty horrible.
Yeah, but it's nice, and it kind of gives it's got a chewy taste to it, so crunchy.
Yeah, we're gonna miss that taste.
Yeah, I just put a little on my eggs in the morning. Well, it comes with the eggs because you scrape the pan of the egg. Yeah. Never mind. Anyway, enough PFAS jokes, Chris. It's not a PFAS. So tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you grow up? What influenced you? We want to hear in your words a little bit.
I'm a kid of I was born in 55. I'm a kid of the 60s. I grew up listening to Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Politically, I've always been left. Tin Soldiers and Nixon coming. I'm very much someone that believes in humanity and equality and equity. I was a childcare counselor. I quit, and then I I moved to BC as a childcare counselor after training in Toronto, and because the system here was so great.
Mhm.
But then the Socreds got in, and everything privatized, and the system just was horrible. It became very, very hard to do your job. And I started studying makeup, and I never looked back, actually. Makeup just became my life. A film became my life. I loved it. I started working. My very first show was Wise Guy as an assistant to Todd McIntosh, Emmy award-winning, multi-Emmy award-winning makeup artist. And I just sort of, I was very fortunate. I had great teachers, and I just got into film, and I stayed in film for almost 30 years.
Mhm.
And it was I was on a show called The L Word. I was the head makeup artist on that show.
Oh, wow.
And Mayor Kirshner came and sat in my chair.
Hmm.
And she said, joAnn, I'm not wearing any more parabens in my makeup. And I said, oh, well, good for you. I don't know what you're talking about. And so she had been in Europe, and Europe had banned over 1,800 chemicals from personal care items.
Wow.
And she told me about it. My mom had just died of cancer. So
Oh, no.
I phoned my girlfriend, Norma Lowen-Patton, who is Halle Berry's makeup artist. And I phoned Norma, and she was from Britain, so she knew a lot about organics and, all that stuff. And I called her and I said, do you know what this paraben thing is? And she said, no, but I just got this book, Not Just a Pretty Face. Would you like to, read it? It's called Not Just a Pretty Face. I highly recommend it to everyone. The first paragraph was about there was hundreds of chemicals found in the bloodstream.
Wow.
Even PCBs from the 1970s. There was endocrine disruptors, neuro, things that, mess with your brain. I'm not a scientist, obviously. And, these subjects were newborn babies across the United States still in the hospital.
Wow.
And that changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
How are they getting these chemicals into their system, through their mother's body?
Wow.
How are the women getting it into their system? And then came, all these studies on dermal absorption and all that stuff. And still, now we're finding plastics, testicles with plastics in them.
Yeah, I stuff a couple in there extra just to kind of fill it out. Impress the ladies.
Exactly.
Yeah, stuff a couple extra. I just put them in the jockstrap there. But the skin is your largest organ, right?
Absolutely.
And there's absorption there. You can put medication on your skin and it will absorb that. So
Think about patches.
that can make sense that if you're using makeup that's got these forever chemicals and stuff in them, and that could easily be passed. It's in your system and passed to your children.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's kind of wild. This is why I never had kids.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to pass off all the Teflon I have in me.
Well, the thing too is it's really not even a matter, you can't get just rid of them. This is going to be a matter of everyone getting together, and this has got to be progress, not perfection, because we're testing everything for organic fluorine. So we're testing for the 15,000 in all our products, and our products are coming back non-detect 10 parts per million, which is the smallest you can test actual products for and packaging. The other thing to know is that plastic loves PFAS.
Wow.
Yes.
Seems like they're all running together. They're just a bad group of people.
Yeah, the peepees.
I get that.
Hey, even here in Canada.
I have a lot of problem with the peepees in my old age.
That's a political joke.
I'm always waking up and sleep. Is it a Canadian political joke?
PP is a political joke. Yes.
Oh, there you go. It's a Canadian thing. Yeah, we're in America. We don't really.
You don't get it, no.
Yeah, we don't. But that's okay. I'm a big Canadian fan. Eh? Some people say I love Trailer Park Boys and Rush. Big Rush fan. Neil Peart and Alex Lifeson, and some people say I'm the red-haired guy on Trailer Park Boys. I forget his name. I don't know. I forget his name. Anyway, my friends tell me that I'm him, and I'm like, really? Seriously? But maybe I am. I watched it once after they told me that, and I was like, I think I see what they're talking about. But I don't live in my car, so there's that. Anyway, so you developed this line. Tell us about how many different products you have on your website, that you feature and you've developed, and like some of the variations of the genre. Yeah, I'm not sure what the right things, the genre or whatever of the products, lipstick and.
Well, we have complexion products, so things like foundations and CC creams, and it's a small line. And because we've learned about PFAS, we are actually getting rid of a whole bunch of stuff that we tested, and it tested so high in fluorine that we didn't go into the organic fluorine or fluoride. We didn't go into the organic fluorine. So we're sort of like switching now to just developing things that are PFAS tested or organic fluorine tested. So I'll show you this. This is our vegan mascara, and it's
Vegan
free.
mascara.
Yeah,
Can I eat it too?
you can eat it. You probably could. I don't know, but it's also refillable.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, 'cause
Right?
sometimes I get hungry putting on my mascara in the morning.
Yeah.
It's in the morning, and you have a coffee, but you don't have a donut, and you're just like, I'd chew on it a little bit. You just bite a piece off. There you
Yeah.
go. Makes your teeth look kind of mascara.
Well, the good thing is that you won't get any PFAS because this has been tested. This has been tested for uh, organic fluorine to 10 parts per million. The plastic has. It took us, and then we tested the formula was tested to 10 parts per million.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had this little part here tested for 10 parts per million. It took us 8 months.
Holy crap.
And we had to make 4. Now, it wouldn't take a big company 8 months, but we had to actually make 4 different ones to find this piece of plastic to test non-detect for PFAS.
Oh, wow.
So for organic fluorine, which is the 15,000. So basically, what we're doing is we're trying to create a new paradigm of business. So everything's transparent. So we know we can't get rid of all the organic fluorine in every product, but we're going to try to keep it under a certain number. And we're going to tell everybody what that number is. Because if you go to mamavation.com, MAMAVation, like motivation, but Mamavation, she tests everything. She is the whistleblower. She has a whole bunch of stuff on clean beauty, but she also tests things like food. They're really testing a lot of food now. She's testing materials, she's amazing. So she's really the thought leader on the whole of organic fluorine testing. Yeah.
So how does the competition fare to you? It sounds like you're being really innovative and cutting technology and stuff. Do the big brands care about this stuff, or are they just kind of, I don't know, just give them some of that Chinese whatever makeup? I don't know.
I think that some of the lines have taken things seriously and in fact made some changes without telling anybody. Whereas we're really basically the only company that's been really transparent about our whole process. I don't know what anybody else is doing. I do know the numbers that Mamavation has tested for some of the bigger clean brands, and it's not pretty.
Oh, wow.
And so I would suggest that people go to that site and take a look at what the numbers are. So the thing is I can't care about all that other noise. I'm not interested. That's why I say we're breaking up with clean beauty. I don't have time for the other noise. I'm here for one thing, and that is to create a line that is transparent for human beings to be able to use and know exactly what they're putting on their bodies and into their skin. And I can't, I'm not a marketer. I don't want to, I'm not here to buy a yacht. I lost my first home. I lost everything to an investor that wanted me to put phthalates back in the products in 2008 with my first company. So this is why my second company is called New Paradigm, because it's got to be based on transparency. Yeah.
Well, it's hard to be held to a higher standard, hold yourself up to a higher standard. Sometimes it can be costly to have integrity, but in the end, you can sleep with yourself at night, and you can know that what you did was the right thing.
Yeah, I kind of think like this company is my apology to the next generations. My generation has done so much harm, and we really need to turn things around and create. We need a different world, or we're going to lose the world we have.
Most
And
definitely.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean it's really important, and it's time for, you know, it's funny how a lot of these chemicals are banned in Europe and other countries, and we're just like, no, let's just bathe in them, wipe ourselves on them. That's great. This is
Mhm.
awesome, man. This asbestos is nice too. Let's get a sniff of that. Oh, that's good stuff right
Well, that's
there.
what
And
you get when you put private companies in charge of themselves, regulating themselves. Like you put the manufacturers right, either the big companies are regulating themselves. So what are they don't care.
you mean we can't trust people in capitalism? Who knew? Unbridled capitalism is bad. Who
Surprise.
knew? Surprise. I mean,
I,
capitalism is great, folks, but unbridled capitalism, you know, might
little
need to be
contained.
reined in a little bit.
Yeah.
So I can see on your website you got all sorts of great makeup products. You've got foundation, reflecting CC cream, cream concealer,
Yeah.
brow pomades. This is why I like
Brow
to wear.
pomades.
This is
That's to
like
make
a,
your eyebrows.
you
Yeah.
have to have a whole career as a woman to understand this. You have to go to college, I think, to learn all these terms. Maximum Tendency vegan mascara and eyeshadow, blushes, brushes, cruelty-free pro makeup brushes, refillable paper compacts, and skin patrol press stuff. So where can people find your products? Are they available in any retail outlets, or do they need to go to the website?
No, they're the detox market.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Beauty Heroes, California's amazing store.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I can't think. We're available in Europe and in Australia, across Canada, Green Kiss. Yeah, I mean, but the thing is that we were probably in about 75 more stores before COVID.
Oh,
And what's happened is that the large corporations have swept in with their clean at, and all we've lost so many retailers, like Small Family. The women that actually that started the movement and grew the movement have tanked
oh wow.
because the big corporations have come in and swept in with all their money. And so yeah, we've lost a lot of our customers, which is really sad.
Really?
It's yeah, it's so
Well,
sad.
hopefully we'll get some more off this. And
Absolutely. But I feel bad for the stores, for
mhm.
these small businesses, family businesses have been wiped out. And we really need to pay attention to these large corporations sweeping in.
How do you start a clean beauty regime or one without the PFAS? How do you make the switch over? It's like, since you're using some, I don't want to get sued by some beauty company. Let's say you're using XYZ, China based makeup, and they're bad for you. How do you make that switch over to your stuff?
Well, I think that you choose the thing that you wear the most,
Mm.
because you have to do it on a budget. You know what I mean? And you can't just all of a sudden unless
Yeah,
you're
throw throw
really
away
wealthy.
hundreds of dollars.
But like you said, so you use the things that you wear the most, but
Mm.
also pay attention to the fact that your lips don't have oil glands, so they get dry, and they're a very quick way of getting PFAS into your system. Same with your eyes. So your
Okay.
eyes, I would start maybe with a mascara, and take a look at lip products that are testing lower. Your foundation it covers a lot of area. So your CC cream or your foundation, um, uh, maybe, but you do it one step at a time. Like you've been using these things forever, so like just do your research and look at the small independent companies, and uh, you know do you see who's testing, ask the questions. I really
Uh-huh.
encourage people to take the brands that you're using and ask the hard questions. Are you testing for organic fluorine? uh, what is your stance on this? What are your plans? All that kind of stuff, the transparency.
There you go. And I
Mhm.
imagine you have some of the disclosures and stuff like that on your website, so people can take a look at what you've done.
Oh, sure. Yeah. We've got tons of blogs that will teach you about PFAS, that show
Oh,
you what our journey is. And yeah, my disclosure is that I'm not a scientist. So
mm,
I'm, doing my best to get the information out as best I can. And it changes quite quickly. That's the other thing. This is a new science. This is all brand new. I mean, it's not, they've been around for many years, but actually trying to mitigate them is a whole other story.
Oh yeah, I mean it takes a long time to figure all this stuff out and make sure you get clean stuff. So on your website too, I can see there's a shade guide,
Yeah.
trial size, a makeover quiz. That's probably what I need, a good makeover quiz.
Oh, and we have AI too. You can actually go and try the virtual try on.
Oh really? Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
see that virtual try on right below the
yeah,
makeup
yeah,
consultation. I'll
yeah.
have to do that. Try on some different
Yeah.
shades.
And soon we're
Um,
going to have a version 3. The company is called Pulpo. They're amazing. And we're going to have version 3 so you can do a whole makeup in
wow.
one go. So that'll be fun.
Maybe I'll get in there and play around and show up on the show. There you go.
That'd
People will be like, "What?
be great.
He changed on us." So whatever. But it's what's going on nowadays. So final thoughts: as we go out, tell people how to onboard with you, reach out. Maybe they can, if they have questions or something. How can they learn more?
Absolutely. You can just go to our website, mysafo.com, and all the questions come to me, and I will answer whatever you ask. I'm here to serve, and that's how I feel about this project. This is about serving and moving a paradigm to a better world.
There you go. Anything to make the world better, safer for kids. You think about, I mean, kids go put on
Healthy.
this makeup too, and they get into mom's makeup. I've had a few of
Well,
my girlfriends, their daughters get into their makeup.
when I was a little girl, the first book I read was a story about Anna City View, and it was a little girl that was in a suburb of Ottawa that died of leukemia.
Oh
They
wow.
don't write those books anymore.
Yeah.
There's
That's
too many.
unfortunate. Yeah. Well, this
So
is a thing we need to do, clean up everything because we make a mess.
yeah.
So give us your .com so we go out so people can look that up on the internet.
SAPPHOMYSAPPHO.com, mysafo.com.
There you go. Thank you very much for coming to the show, joAnn. We've had fun and loved it, and I've learned a lot about makeup and, of course, these bad chemicals we need to get rid of.
Thanks so much, Chris, for having me.
Thank you. And thanks, Amounts, for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Foss, or else don't make me stop the car and come back to our kids. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you